At the start of its attack on Ukraine, Moscow said it put its nuclear capabilities on high alert. But the U.S. said it had not seen any changes to back up that statement. Until now. General Mark Milley said the Pentagon is hearing provocative rhetoric from top officials in Moscow now on Russia's nuclear capabilities. He also gave the longest assessment yet from Washington on when the conflict may end.
I do think this is a very protracted conflict, and I think it's at least measured in years. I don't know about decade, but at least years for sure.
And Milley says Russia's attack could likely not have been prevented without risking broader conflict.
I'm not sure he was deterrable. This has been a long-term objective of his that goes back years. So I think the idea of deterring Putin from invading Ukraine, deterring him by the United States, would have required the commitment of U.S. military forces, and I think that would have risked armed conflict with Russia.
That is something the U.S. says it will not do, despite the reported atrocities in the town of Abuja, near the capital, Kyiv. Witnesses say residents were tortured, raped, and murdered by Russian soldiers. Meanwhile, the U.S. is ready to roll out a new round of economic sanctions against Russia on Wednesday. Those will include more sanctions on government officials and their families, as well as state-owned enterprises. And that includes Monday's announcement that Moscow will be prevented from paying holders of its sovereign debt with the more than $600 million in reserves held in U.S. banks.
First, on sanctions, we have a couple of objectives. One of them is to put consequences in place, put a marker down and make very clear it's absolutely unacceptable, horrific, and there should be consequences. The second is to make it more difficult to fund the ongoing war.
The White House says its goal is to further degrade Russia's economy and isolate it. But despite those horrific images coming out of Ukraine, the White House still insists it's not advocating for regime change in Russia. Andy Roach, TRT World, Washington.